Boba Fett is one of the most skilled bounty hunters and assassins in all of the Star Wars universe, so much so that he is constantly utilized by Darth Vader as well as Emperor Palpatine, and is considered one of the few bounty hunters capable of hunting down Force wielders, which is why on multiple occasions Vader has sent Boba Fett after Luke Skywalker, and after the Force wielder we'll be discussing today, Galen Marek, more specifically the failed clone of Galen Marek in Starkiller. However, over the course of his encounters with Starkiller, he would grow to fear him more than any other Force wielder, more than Vader and more than Palpatine, and in this video we'll explain what Starkiller did to make him the only Force wielder that Boba Fett truly ever feared. Many people, including Darth Vader, considered Boba Fett to be the best bounty hunter in the galaxy. Fett was aware of that opinion, and it emboldened him enough to occasionally converse with the Sith Lord in an irreverent manner that no one besides Emperor Palpatine would ever attempt. Boba Fett was just as cunning as his father, and was referred to as Vader's right hand. Boba Fett typically had an easy time completing his bounties, with Force wielders being the only really difficult ones. As Boba grew older, some of his most well-paying and popular bounties were in the form of Jedi that managed to escape Order 66, at least initially, and Boba Fett developed a sort of speciality in hunting down these Jedi, even coming into contact with Darth Vader's own son, Luke Skywalker, several times, and on several occasions even getting the better of the young Force wielder. However, again, there was one mission that Boba Fett was sent on behalf of Darth Vader that chilled him to his core. He had no idea that a Force wielder was capable of the atrocities that they were, especially an unhinged Force wielder such as Starkiller. The first planet on the hunt for Starkiller that Boba Fett, as well as his teammate and lover, Zasha, went to was Cato Nemoidia, where they saw the wreckage that Starkiller had caused across the massive city. What chilled Boba even more to his core is what remained of the giant creature known as the Gorog, which Starkiller had fought and nearly killed just days earlier. A Gorog was meant to be unkillable. The Gorog was a creature of immense size and strength, and could easily clutch a Rancor with one hand. It had large muscular midsection and forearms, while its upper arms and upper legs were more skeletal. The only Gorog that we know about appeared in The Force Unleashed 2, and it is quite possible that he is the last member of his species. The massive damage dealt to the Gorog was enough to make Zasha turn back and abandon the hunt for Starkiller, even though Boba Fett refused. Following exploring Cato Nemoidia, Boba Fett was called back to Kamino to speak with Darth Vader. After witnessing a holo recording of Starkiller's escape of Kamino, the Sith Lord revealed the origin of the target to Fett. The target was not the real Starkiller, but instead a renegade clone, created amongst a series of failed experiments of Vader's last apprentice. Though initially shocked by the strength of the clone's powers, Fett concluded that tracking the clone down would be difficult, especially more so if he had to personally capture him. This moment would then surprise Boba Fett even further, as Darth Vader explained that if he attempted to personally capture Starkiller, he would surely die, that the power of Starkiller was unlike anything that Vader had seen before, therefore why he was so eager to clone him in the first place. Boba Fett would stand no chance against the failed clone, so instead, Vader ordered Boba Fett to attack Juno Eclipse, the object of the failed clone's fascination. Boba Fett concluded what made this Starkiller clone so much more deadly than any other Force wielder was not only the power that it possessed, but just how unhinged it was. It was like giving a child near limitless power. It could snap at any moment, and unlike many of the Jedi that Boba Fett had faced over the years, it was willing to kill, and willing to do so immediately unprovoked. Eventually, Boba Fett would succeed in capturing Juno Eclipse, narrowly avoiding Starkiller in the process, as Boba Fett managed to outthink the clone. Shortly before arriving at Kamino, Fett took some time to speak with Eclipse. The captive warned her captor that unless she was immediately released unharmed, Starkiller would destroy the bounty hunter without mercy. Surprisingly, Fett conceded that this was the likely outcome, but countered that he had experience at fighting Jedi in the past. Juno, though, gloatingly declared that Starkiller was not a Jedi at all. He was a relentless killing machine, who, unlike the Jedi, did not possess any kind of limitation to his powers. She warned Fett that Starkiller could easily destroy him, even if it meant bringing down an entire Star Destroyer on the Hunter. As a little side note, this is something that I really like about the character of Boba Fett. He clearly knows when he's in over his head, but he's trying to outthink the situation. He's even managed to capture Juno Eclipse without coming in direct contact with really the only Force wielder that he truly feared, in Starkiller, even with everybody around him telling him how impossible his task is. Boba Fett knows it. He's not overconfident here. He knows exactly what he's doing. Before Boba Fett could collect his payment for capturing Juno, Vader commanded him to remain in Kamino until Starkiller was fully neutralized. Fett became frustrated and demanded his reward right away. Not only was he aware of the fact that the clone was about to arrive with the entire Rebel fleet, but he also knew that he would most likely die in the ensuing battle. After seeing what the clone was capable of on Cato Nemoidia and the Salvation, Fett knew that with his limitations, he would certainly be killed in a confrontation with Galen Merrick's clone. Yet, Vader's decision was made, and he would not allow the mercenary to leave, thus forcing Fett to grudgingly remain at the Sith Lord's side. Once the rebels and the failed Starkiller clone successfully infiltrated Kamino, one of the other failed clones was set loose. And although Boba had survived the initial impact of the rebel starship smashing into the city, the clone immediately attacked him. Boba identified this clone though as far more deranged and deformed than the Starkiller clone that was currently engaged with Darth Vader. And although this clone nearly killed him, Boba Fett was able to destroy it by aiming his rocket launcher directly at his head. Boba's mission was not yet done though, as he climbed to the highest point in the city that he could find, and watched as Starkiller and Darth Vader dueled. Boba Fett then took aim directly at Starkiller's head. Previously, he had been given orders that if Starkiller decided to capture Vader, he was not to act, and to let it happen, well aware that Boba Fett was Vader's contingency plan. If Starkiller moved to kill Vader, however, Boba was ordered to shoot him down right there, ending the clone's reign of terror. However, what Vader predicted was ultimately accurate, and the Starkiller clone resolved to capture the Sith Lord and not kill him there, just as Vader planned. Luckily for Boba Fett, this would be the last time that he would encounter the Starkiller clone, and what eventually happened to the failed clone is a complete mystery, due to the fact that there was never a comic book or even a video game of The Force Unleashed 3 released after The Force Unleashed 2. Nonetheless, through all of Star Wars, Boba Fett has really only shown fear for this one Force wielder in Starkiller, and I believe it's completely warranted. As always, my friends, I would love to hear your thoughts on this, and I think with good reason, Boba Fett truly feared the power and potential of Starkiller, especially because of the fact that his power was so unhinged, unlike many of the Jedi and even Sith that he had faced previously. According to my analytics, a lot of you guys that watch the channel haven't subscribed yet, so if you want to stay up to date on everything Star Wars related, force choke that subscribe button, or if you're a Jedi, force push it. As always, my friends, may the Force be with you, and have a great day.